One of the things that really bothered my father with his Parkinson's was the soft voice, losing the projection. My father had been a coach. My father had been a boys' PE teacher. All of the boys at Tillamook High School knew when my father was hollering. You could hear him all over the track. You could hear him all over the gym. In fact, you could hear him down the halls, too. Anyway, it really disturbed him when he started losing his voice and he couldn't make himself heard on the telephone. We didn't know about the Lee Silverman program at that time. I'm not sure it was in existence, but we came up with our own things, and I'm here to share them with you. Part of the problem, if you lose the vocalizations with Parkinson's, is that by not using the mouth fully, it can lead to eating problems. You can't chew the food as well. You can't move it around with your tongue. You can't get it to the back of your mouth. And the throat doesn't want to open and close. It makes swallowing a little more difficult. Part of the thing we're going to do today also is with projection, trying to get that voice out there so people can actually hear you. And in order to do that, you need to be upright. You need to be able to have the lungs expand so that you can really belt that those words out. But that's also important when you're swallowing. You don't want to be down like this when you're eating, when you're having water going down. It's really hard when you have this kink. It's just easier if you're more upright. So let's move right along. We're going to do some of our first exercises for the front of the mouth, the lips, and the teeth. And I'm going to say some words and you can just follow along afterwards. Pat, pet, pit, pot, put. Notice how I really used my lips. I really enunciated these. I want you to say those so that everybody can understand them if you were to say them out loud to them. We're now going to add an S to each of those words, and I want you to really just spit them out. So pats, pets, pits, pots, puts. With those lips really working, don't ya? Now we're going to work for the center of the mouth. We're going to get that tongue going up and down in the center of the mouth. And of course, that's really working if you were thinking about moving food around in your mouth. And we're going to repeat these a few times. So, dilly, dally, dilly, dally, dilly, dally. Really enunciate, dilly, dally. Noodle, needle, noodle, needle, noodle, needle, noodle, needle. You sure hope nobody walks in on you when you're doing these things, right? Okay, again, really enunciate, get that tongue moving. Railroad, 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 railroad. Now we're going to get into the back of the throat, that swallowing area. And I'm going to do something a little bit different, so just follow along, and I'll do it slowly enough that you can just repeat the word right afterwards. Quart, quart, quirk, cork, crock, crack. Really with that throat. Let's do them again. Quart, quart, quirk, cork, crock, crack. And yes, I do have my little cheat sheet right over here, and that's why my eyes keep hopping over there, because I don't have these down completely in my mind. Okay, however, this one is definitely in my mind. This one I can do in my sleep. My friend, the fireman, who has Parkinson's, and there's a real high rate of Parkinson's with firemen, hates this exercise. This exercise opens and closes the throat, and it allows the kid in you to have a little bit of fun as well. We're going to be a fire siren. So I want you to sit up, I want you to get a deep breath, and I want you to go, See why he hates that one? A lot of these exercises are from 3 of my different posts: Who's Making Noise, Who's Making Noise Too, and Something to Shout About. And those will be the ones that you'll want to be looking at on Facebook, but I'll try and combine them all for you. We're going to move on. Now we're going to enunciate by saying, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Again, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Really make those words round. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Okay, now we're going to sing a note low, and then we're going to sing a note high. I'm sorry, if you might want to take that lazy dog and put it outside so that they're not howling when we do this. But you're going to go low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. You can see the challenge that we're doing in the back of the throat in order to do that. That's a real good one that we as adults generally don't do, because when we sing, we just kind of sing along in a little singing thing. But if you really force that voice up and down, you can get the throat opening and closing, and you know what we're after on this. Okay, back to the front of the teeth, the tongue, the lips, that whole area. We're going to say 2 words, and we're going to do them 3 times each. Babble, bubble. Babble, bubble. Babble, bubble. Now it's bubble, double. Bubble, double. Bubble, double. Double, dabble. Double, dabble. Double, dabble. Double, dabble. You can see it's almost the same thing. It's really making the front of the tongue touching into the teeth and so forth as you're talking here. But there's just a few little nuances. So it's making you really practice with your mouth. The center, the tongue again, working the tongue, trying to get it up against the top of the mouth. Dine, line. Dine, line. Dine, line. Did I do that 3 times? I hope I did. Line, lane. Line, lane. Line, lane. Line, lane. Lane, rain. Lane, rain. Lane, rain. For the back of the throat, and again, I'm reminding you about that swallowing, so that's where you're going to be concentrating. I want you to really feel this while we're doing it. Goggle, giggle. Goggle, giggle. Goggle, giggle. Giggle, gargle. Giggle, gargle. Giggle, gargle. Gargle, gurgle. Gargle, gurgle. Gargle, gurgle. Now, we're going to open and close the throat with the letter X in some words. Exhale, exhaust. Exhale, exhaust. Exhale, exhaust. Really work that X. Exhaust, exhort. Exhaust, exhort. Exhaust, exhort. Exhort, exude. Exhort, exude. Exhort, exude. And see, at this point, then, our Parkinson's group, the Parkinson support group that I work with, would probably all just be laughing and saying, okay, that's enough. But we need to do some projections here. So we're going to sit upright again, sit forward on your chair, or if you'd like to, go ahead and stand up. But I warn you, we're going to be inhaling and exhaling quite a bit, and it can make you dizzy, even sitting in your chair. So if you're not used to really projecting with your voice, not used to being loud, not used to being demonstrative, you might want to stay seated. we're going to say, can you hear me now, 4 times, getting progressively louder each time. So it's, can you hear me now? 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 Really belt that out. Now we're going to say lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, make that a contrast. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. That contrast makes you really work that voice in and out, back and forth, kind of big and little. Now you're going to go back and forth between 2 exercises, and you're going to take a deep breath, and in a medium voice, you're just going to hold 1 note. And I can hold pretty long because I'm a swimmer, so I'm not going to go forever and ever for you here. So it's just la, and so forth and so on, and just keep holding, and you keep going la as I'm talking here, because the next thing we're going to do is take a deep breath. So sit, breathe, take a deep breath, and we're going to blow out a candle hard and fast. I want you to really inhale and really exhale and push that air out. Now it's back to the hold a note. La. You don't have to do the thing with the hands, but I'm doing it just because it's fun. And keep going. And then to the candle. Okay, we're going to hum, because humming kind of forces the air up and into the nose a little bit differently than speaking. So let's choose something like Old MacDonald's, and it's only humming 1 line. Okay, now I want you to get something that you can read out of a newspaper, just a little something. And you're going to either read over the top of your TV and keep turning your TV up a little bit more each time, or you're going to read this aloud to a person and have them continue to move away from you as you read this paragraph, possibly go into a room and close the door. And you're going to want to enunciate loud and well so that they can really hear you over the noise, if there was somebody in here with the noise, or that they can hear you through the door. So I guess I can't turn on the TV with the clicker that goes to the computer, but I can turn on the TV and get some noise going here, and I'll read to you. Speaking of love of community, it is time once again for Tillamook High School's charity drive. Every year, THS students raise astonishing sums for Dornbecker Children's Hospital. The kids and parents work hard, and the community comes through with a generosity of spirit that is truly amazing.
In careers like Homeland Security.
I hope you could hear me over that and get the whole idea of what I was doing. If you keep practicing that, you're going to be able to find yourself speaking and not having the person that you're talking to go, could you repeat that? I can't hear you. What did you say again? And wouldn't that be nice, so that they don't have to keep asking you that? Join me on Facebook, and I'll see you next week.